Wife, no curse words. We're live. If you walk by the camera, make sure you got on. That's all I'm saying. I will do the same. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, it has some interesting hair right now. That's what you have to deal with. All right. So I'm doing this video because I'm about to do a rub out technique on this mask. And this is a inbred mask that I have painted with latex mask paint mix. All right, see, and you're like, Alan, that paint job is not awesome. It is not high contrast. You're right, it isn't. I'm going to up the contrast level by doing a rub out. I don't normally do this because I prefer a higher contrast. I prefer black base. This one I did not black base. I just based it in flesh. And so I'm going to do a rub out on this mask here. I also have a mold. I have 2 molds to make. I'll make at least 1 tonight. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:51 p.m.
I'll make at least 1 tonight. But I know I'm going to get him finished painted because it won't take long at all. In here, I have a rub out compound, which is alcohol-based ink and 99% alcohol. Most people use 70%. It's very hard to get alcohol right now, so I have 99%. That's what I got. 70% is normally more than adequate. 99 will be fine. I'm going to grab myself a sponge, a sponge, so I can wet it, and then I can rub it off, the rub out, as soon as I put it on.
All the folks are saying hello.
Hello, everybody.
Telling what we based out in black?
No, that mask is painted. What I'm doing now is I'm doing the rub out for it, which is the other. There's 2 ways to paint masks and make them look cool. You can dry brush with a black base, or you can do an antiquing method or a rub out with a lighter base, like a flesh base. So I based it already in flesh. I hit the teeth, I hit the gums, I did a little bit of other work on it, but mostly it is just that, that. I gotta set up pop-out chat.
Good to see you working tonight on my favorite things to watch on YouTube.
Who is that?
Lucky 2001.
Well, that's very nice. Very good.
It was me. This is not what I thought it was going to be.
Hooray!
This is so perfect.
I try not to make those kind of videos, Skullberg. And when I do, I only send them direct to you, buddy. Okay? Pop-out chat. Here in chat, when you get old, this will be useful to you. Up here in the corner, where it says chat, you can hit pop-out chat. Make it full screen, and then you can magnify. And this just in case my wife is surfing kitten videos or something and misses comments or questions that I ought to answer. This is 70% alcohol. This is a sponge. I'm doing this. You guys can't tell because I need the sponge to be wet. I'm also doing this because it's coronavirus season. Douse yourself in alcohol, everybody. It's good for you. All right. Get a little closer. Don't be shy. Okay. So.
Not surfing kitten videos.
She surfs kitten videos all the time, for the record. I'm like, boy, what is she doing over there? Kitten videos. Sometimes it's puppy videos. She likes to mix up. All right, so this is a sock mask. I joined the latex mask to a head sock, so that's fun.
Tom Buds and Candlestick says he's doing the apocalypse mask now.
Says what?
Cobwebs and candlesticks is doing apocalypse now.
You are? That's awesome. Send me pictures when you're done.
April Fool's here. Anyone got any sinister ideas for my kids? Ezekiel.
Boy. Really, I think I'm not doing an April Fool's because just the general state of the world is cruel enough right now.
Have you ever watched the movies of Wishmaster?
Yes. I haven't watched Wishmaster 4 with a different guy who wasn't as good. All right, so everything on here now is latex paint, latex water-based paint. It's water-based. This is alcohol and ink. How much ink? Well, the more ink you use, the darker the wash is going to be. I have a whole bottle of it. Oh, here it is. So it just says on here, rub out. And you can take it. It'll stain a little bit if you're, it depends on, how thick, how much ink. That much. You don't want it to be crazy. This has 77% alcohol in it because it's a leftover. This is ready with my rub-out mix.
Hello from Kansas.
And you can see this is not a very dark rub-out mix right now. This is a very light rub-out mix.
What age were you when you started making latex masks?
17. When did I start making good latex masks? About 30. See how it's getting, the more you apply, it gets a little darker. And now, this mask I know is for Dan Henry, and he likes his stuff grungy because his company, Crooked Creations, used to make latex masks that were really grungy. See, and now I can, with this big sponge, get off a lot of that. Calm yourself, Skullberg. I know I said rub out and get off at the same time, but be an adult, okay, buddy?
Just
All right.
ordered latex from Biddy. That's Big Dog.
Good, good. Okay, so now you can see this kind of taking shape, right? And it is higher contrast than it was before.
And Henry says thanks for the shout out.
Oh, Dan Henry. I didn't know he was on.
He's on.
Okay, now I think that this could be grungier. Like this is a fairly realistic paint if you look at that. See how that's settled in all the darks and all the nooks and crannies of that sculpture? But I want to go darker. Dan Henry, stop me if I'm going crazy, but I think I need a little more contrast on this. I'm going to add ink to the rub-out compound. I could add ink to my whole jar of rub-out. That's probably what I'll do. Just a little too light.
Can you do this with a water-based ink?
No, because I use water-based paint under it. So if I wipe it off with water, then it's going to take it away. And I don't want to take it away. I want it to, I want to leave all the latex paint that I did and only rub out the alcohol-based stuff. So there.
Cobwebs and candlesticks says bring the filth. Have you ever had a problem with molded oil clay where you have bubbles on the surface of the plaster?
You get that no matter what you're molding. Plaster is liquid, so yeah, you do. I tend to mix mine a little thicker, and it just doesn't hold bubbles as well.
Doing a Halloween mask. It's creepy. It's a bug mask. It's from James Minute. Dan Henry says, you go crazy.
Hooray!
Hugo.
Hey, Hugo.
Brazil.
Yes, remember.
Say hello to Jordan.
Hey, Jordan. Wait, which Jordan?
Jordan Easel.
That is Sheet Ghost Jordan.
Sheet Ghost Jordan.
Yes,
Correct.
he loves him some Sheet Ghosts.
Loves him some
Which is cool. Hey, man, I'd rather be passionate about something than not.
The mask kind of reminds me of the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, it's inbred. I mean, yeah.
Can you spray Plastidip on water-based?
Now, see, that has a lot more color to it. I think that's going to be nice. Can you spray Plastidip on what?
Water-based inks.
You can. All right. Now, this is a brand new mix. I'm running it through my Harbor Freight Quick Change airbrush. I have not sprayed this on as a rub out before. So I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to put it somewhere out of the way.
I love that double goggled apocalypse mask you put up earlier. Is that the...
Thank you. I like it. So now I am going to, as Dan Henry would say, I'm going to go crazy.
The apocalypse masks look awesome. The new ones, the tactical ones.
Well, the tactical I like, the medical I like. I actually have 3 more lines of apocalypse masks in my head that I have yet to do. But they're coming. And if I stay home much longer, they're going to come sooner rather than later. I really think apocalypse masks are going to be the next thing that someone else picks up the torch on and starts doing. And I think that would be awesome. This is, again, a sponge wet with alcohol. So I can take off this alcohol-based ink. And now I'm getting the level of grunge that I want. And with this sponge, I can take off as little or as much as I want. This technique was stolen directly from Ed Edmonds at Distortions. I don't do this a lot. A, it's kind of one of Ed's signature looks, and B, I prefer more contrast. I am still going to paint this mask. I'm still have some airbrushing to do afterwards on this mask.
What kind of ink did you use to make that wash?
I used a Pinata ink, which is a alcohol-based ink. This happens to be Burrow Brown. So I use Burrow Brown Pinata ink.
Do you prefer Universal Studios or Hammer Film Monsters?
Okay. Listen.
Which child do you love more?
Ross is asking the hard questions. Because the classics are Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. Those are your classics. Creature in the Black Lagoon. I do enjoy Hammer movies a little better. I prefer, I mean, my favorite Wolfman out there is actually Oliver Reed in Curse of the Werewolf. That gray werewolf with the slight ears on top. I mean, I like that look. Remember what I said, it was stain? So these eyes and teeth were white, and now they're kind of a reddish brown. But I'm going to hit them anyway, again. But look at the detail we have now. Now it's going in there and it's popping things. And it looks actually lighter on camera than it does in person. But, yes. Okay, so now I'm going to pop a heat gun onto this real quick just to dry up the ink. I'm happy with the color. And, you know, he looks dirty. He looks ready to go.
Have you ever considered doing them in bright neon colors from strange, salvage, bandit?
Doing... Read that again, honey.
Have you ever considered doing them in bright neon colors for a strange, salvage, bandit look?
I have not. I think they mean the apocalypse masks. I haven't actually considered those doing in bright colors. I have been doing, like, I love color. So I don't mind that concept. Stacy, who works with me, is toying around with some stuff that I won't get into because she's kind of developing a look, and it's very cool. But that is somewhat along that line.
Hello from Sweden.
Hey, Sweden! Is that the same person from Sweden? Andre?
Andre, yes.
Okay.
Dan says it looks excellent. Those are cool masks you're making tonight.
This is part of my inbred series. I think I sculpted this in 2016, 2015. I sculpted it years ago. But I'm just kind of getting my crap together, you know? Let's be real. And this is one where Dan Henry posted on Latex Mask Central. He said, hey, I need some scarecrows and inbreds. And like immediately he had like 90 people saying, look at my scarecrow, look at my scarecrow. And I'm like, here's an inbred if you're interested. Because, you know, he was not getting a lot of inbred hits. And I have, this was inbred number 1, and over here is an inbred number 2. Inbred number 2 is this one, which I always turn into inbred Santa. Not always, but lately his big use is inbred Santa. He's going to get a beard and all that, and he'll be Santa Claus. But he's got a little brother just built in right there. So there's inbred 1, and this was inbred 2, and I have an inbred 3. And then another guy at one point in time asked me to make all 3 brothers from their inbreds Wrong Turn series. Chiseltooth, three finger, and there's one more. And so I made all of those masks. So I have a healthy selection of inbreds. Healthy selection of inbreds is not a sentence I really thought I would ever say.
Say hello to Mr. Jimmy.
To who?
Mr. Jimmy.
Mr. Jimmy is on. Hey, buddy.
Hi. Hello. What, with some meatball parts on that mask, it could look like guys from Judge Dredd.
I don't know what you're referring to, but cool. That's possible.
That's all good. If you're familiar at all with Borderlands, that's kind of the thing I imagine. It's plastic creature.
I'm not that familiar with Borderlands. I'm familiar with some of the art. I do make the Apocalypse mask can get into the Borderlands area with their look and design. Rob loves the Borderlands game, so when he helps with an APOC mask, it looks a little Borderlandsy.
Welcome to Borderlands. Very good.
Thank you.
I remember that inbred episode of the X-Files. Very cool.
Oh, I think it was called Home. I've seen 2 episodes of the X-Files all the way through. The one with the Fluke Man, because I wanted to see the episode. One called Home, which had the inbreds. Woo! That was a rough episode, man.
Wrong Turn is a great inbreeding movie.
Wrong Turn is a great what movie?
Inbreeding movie.
Yeah. I don't know how I rank inbreeding movies, but I guess that's a good one.
The first mask I sculpted was an inbred. Terrible. Chad Smith.
That is a fair assessment. I don't know. I can only agree with you in the spirit of being a friendly person. You know what's cool about me sending this mask to Dan Henry?
Dan Henry's watching?
He's a mask maker, and if it sucks, he'll fix it.
I'm pretty confident that held inbred is an oxymoron. I'm actually working on some molds for some shrunken heads. This is Andre from Sweden.
Oh, very cool.
Ezekiel says, yes, home was scary.
Yeah.
Seems to be a third generation older than you, that's bad.
Yeah, when I was sculpting, when I sculpted my clown mask, he also counts as an inbred because I actually used inbred people as reference when I was sculpting the clown because I wanted something that was a good solid base so that I could turn into other things. And I've used it for a lot of stuff. All right, so I feel pretty good about where those eyes are and where the teeth are. I mean, that's plenty of brightness on the whiteness. And now I'm going to get some tools to help me with these eyes.
Anyone know what a Habsburg tune is?
Not off the top of my head, I don't know.
Instead of X-Files I'm thinking of, it is the reason I can't listen to news about thinking of the carload of inbreds that are coming to be really bad. This is terrible. Dan Henry, that's one of the reasons I bought for you, Alan. I have to fix it. I'm using this for mutant scarecrow characters, so that should be cool.
Awesome.
Dr. Max says hello.
Hello! Hello!
Lockhart, let's say hello to Lockhart.
Hey!
Killing it with their mask making.
They are. They're making all
They
kinds
really
of stuff.
are. They just, I've never seen anybody from Monster Camp go for a full head mask like that. That guy looks like he's about 34th generation inbred.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any Hills Have Eyes style masks?
No. Well, style, I mean, just general inbred, yeah. But not like Michael Berryman's character or anything like that. I don't do a lot of movie stuff. If you hit me up at the right time, when I'm broke, maybe. But to be honest, I don't do a lot of movie stuff. I don't like it. How proud can I be of it if someone else made it first? You know? Alright, so I just took a red pen and I outlined these eyes.
You still have your clown mask still.
Oh yeah, I still got the mold for that. And I use it for all kinds of...
You have blanks too.
Yeah, we have blanks of the clown.
Habsburgs were a royal family that were inbred and had a protruding chin and a lot of cleft palate.
Nice.
Lockhart says, I had to give it a shot, the full head mask.
And here's another great thing about inbreds. It doesn't matter if you get your pupil centered or not. Now, and you're looking at it from the side, I'm looking at it from the front. So I'm going to do the pupil centered head on, not centered to you. Dan, what color beard did you want on this? You said you wanted it bearded.
Hey guys, just tuned in. That's a cool mask. That's Chad. He's with Monster Camp 5.
Thanks, Chad.
Ray from Sweden says, pink.
Dan's call, but I have pink hair.
Gray sounds good for the beard.
Okay. Hold me close, a tiny dancer.
Have you ever made a Siamese twin inbred mask?
I've made a Siamese twin costume that involved two people. I have not made a single mask with two separate heads. I have a setup that I designed for such a purpose, but I have not done it.
Plastic Ninja votes for the blonde beard. We all know that's the inbred color.
Well, Dan asked for a gray beard, and as this is Dan's mask, he will get what he wants. Unless he wants me to put blue eyes on this guy, because I'm not doing that. Oh, because I mean, unless he doesn't want blue eyes. I'm going to do blue eyes. Why? Because the Crypt Keeper has blue eyes. And I think that's what makes him really cool. So getting this brush super clean. Okay, somewhat clean. I just used the brush to get ink out, and I put the ink down there.
Dan says blue is good. Ross Reichert says, do you guys follow Eduardo Talbert, aka Monster Tutorials channel?
He actually came to Monster Camp.
Monster Camp too?
Yeah, he came to Monster Camp with us. So, yeah.
How much shrinkage does latex have? Does it shrink while drying over time?
Not over time. It shrinks one time as it dries up. It will not shrink more. Unlike something like Creature Cast neoprene, that will shrink over its life. So this is alcohol and ink, which I'm putting on. I just want to get those eyes a little bit of blueness. I don't want them brighty McBright pants. We'll do one more layer of that.
I didn't know the Crypt Keeper had blue eyes until he impersonated using a blonde wig. For some reason I thought they were green before.
His eyes are astounding. Beautiful, beautiful eyes.
Eduardo stays like a few miles from me. He said, I love the Monster Camp for sure. That's Chad. Chad, you're going to. Have you ever made any bug masks yet?
I have not finished one all the way 100%. But it might be happening with all the free time I'm getting. Alright, so those eyes are blue enough for me. I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a little more red veining. With this pen, I'm going to put a little more lines in the eye, because the alcohol that I mix with the ink takes some of it away. There's an amount that I want.
Alan, I finally picked up some body double. Molded my daughter's foot today. Wasn't terrible, made a big mess. Plus had to instruct my helper, who is my wife, on the process while he says Chad.
Cool. It's very cool that your wife got in there and helped out with you. That's very neat. Okay. Pretty happy with that. I'm happy with him.
Alan, you know anywhere to get Ultra Cow that is shipping right now?
Biddy Mold Supply is shipping. So, I mean, Biddy Mold Supply has it.
disturbingly realistic Peppa Pig character of Picasso. The Toxic Avenger. Seeing your live streams are a bonus to the safer at home.
You know what? I'm so home right now. It's not even funny. So.
Video is out.
Oh.
It's sold out. Oh dear. Sure they'll restock.
Yeah, they will. It'll just take a little while. I don't know if Trinity Ceramic ships. You can try a company called Trinity Ceramic. Dan, my plan is kind of wild hair and wild beard, like he's a hillbilly type of inbred. You know if that works for you?
I have used a thickening agent for latex. It tends to dry with a glossy finish. It is harder to paint. Any idea why thickener makes it glossy?
No, I don't use anything like that. I just use the latex, man. All right, so this is an inbred sock mask. I feel it's mostly dry. I'm gonna start taking it off of the head form. I put it on a decent sized head form.
Dan said perfect.
Okay.
Looks like video is 2 weeks out. I know it came up a few days ago. What was the going price on the removable face scarecrow mask painted? Thinking I may need a new toy.
Oh, I haven't done that. I haven't finished it yet. I might mold it tonight. I have one other mold to make, and then I'm going to mold that one. So the price on him, maybe $125. That's how much he will be when we get him done. Gotta love getting a sock mask off a head form. Let me throw this on to see how it feels.
Store is closed, not taking any orders online. I don't know if that's Reynolds or Biddy. But sounds good, put me down for one. Love your mask sound.
Thank you.
I love the face looks like it is making a painful expression when it is being pulled off above the head. That looks amazing. Been working on some shrunken heads, 7 heads, and half the body is gone. Face only a moment to love. Very good. The Toxic Avenger
It's a little toxy.
or Jason Voorhees.
And now, 70% alcohol. We're in the Corona Kingdom here, so I'm gonna alcohol the inside of the mask.
That mask is so awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Let folks know that you have a blank of that same mask that they can get themselves.
Well, we can pour up these blanks anytime.
They're on
Yeah.
the website.
On the website, my wife is saying we have blanks. Eventually,
We have
I'll add finished masks to the website.
that blank, a blank of that mask is on there.
This
right now.
blank is on there right now, wife says.
I was just looking up Amazon Prime, has Local Cal 30 in stock and free shipping. Dan says looks great, thanks so much.
Happy to, happy to, happy to. It is very important, I think, for mask makers to try on the masks. You know, wear your masks. Every mask in my shop has been on a head before it goes out the door. That's just the deal.
Can we get a shop tour?
No. Maybe in the future. Tonight I'm kind of laid out as far as projects go, but I will do a shop tour and I'll just post it to my YouTube channel. Probably won't be live, but I'll give a full shop tour. Wife, I need a little story from you now, okay?
Okay, so we're going to keep up with continue our theme of how Alan almost kills himself.
Oh, Alan almost died.
Let's see. What's today's story of how Alan almost kills himself? So when last we left our hero, we were still talking about I think it's Sunday when he ran his hand through a table saw. So I drop Alan off. We run to the hospital, and like I said, it was like a bad dream because our local hospital was shut down like overnight. Don't know what happened with that. So I'm driving into Dallas to Baylor Hospital. Alan's hand is wrapped up in several towels, and blood is just seeping through. And so I am driving him in to the hospital, and it's a hospital that where I work. This is the one we utilize, so I knew exactly where to go. And I get us in very fast. And I dropped him off at the front, right there at emergency, and he walked in, and I went to park the car. And when I came back, so I parked very quickly. Like I said, I knew where to go. He's leaving a trail of blood, and I walk in, and I look, and he's not there, and I can't find him anywhere. But I see this trail of blood that is leaving the emergency room lobby and going down a hallway. And so I followed it, and then I find him. They've already grabbed him and took him into a receiving room. Isn't this where they asked you where your fingers were?
When I walked up to the counter, they're like, "Okay, what happened?" And I said, "Ran my hand through a table saw." And they said, "Where's your baggie?" And I said, "What do you mean, where's my baggie?" They're like, "With your finger. Where's your baggie?" No, I have my fingers. They're like, "Really? Okay, we'll go on back." Table saw is apparently like the magic password to send you not to the waiting room, but right to the back. And this is a very weird thing I'm molding right now, so I'm going to explain. There's too much to explain. I shall sum up.
How's the giant worm project?
It's not. It's at work. So right now we cannot work. So this, you're kind of wondering what this is probably. This is a stilt foot, but it's a flat sheet. When I make my stilt boots, there's this, this goes around the stilt. So this is EVA foam. And it's been measured and patterned. This fits perfectly around that stilt. Well, that latex piece will glue onto here in order to make the lazy shop help. In order to make the werewolf foot. So the EVA foam is handling the shape, and the latex that I'm about to mold is handling the skin. If that makes any sense. Very much a two-part piece.
What about popping a gravedigger hat on to give him some class?
I suppose that you could.
Have you ever made...
Or them classy inbreds you hear so much about.
Poor baby. What's wrong, dog? Have you ever made a mask similar to the Creeper off of Jeepers? Very underrated costume.
No. Again, someone else designed that. However, if you make any monster that has wings, people will call it creepers. If you make any creature that has jowls, people will say, "Oh, you're the guy from Jeepers Creepers." So screw that guy. I mean, so that's a design choice.
Do you know if there's a way to bond PU and latex in a mask mold? I've heard Rosane works.
I don't do that. I don't know. It might. Not many things glue very well to polyurethane, PU foam. Now, what I have done is when I want the foam to stick to the latex, here's a trick. pour your mask up like normal. Pour your prop up like normal. Let that dry. Then do another, like pour in coat and then pour it out. And let that set up all till it's almost dry. You don't want it all the way dry. You want it almost dry. Then take cotton balls and take the cotton ball apart and just press it in and pull it off. And that leaves all these fibers. All those fibers get bonded into the latex. And then you do your foam, and the foam grabs onto those cotton hairs, and that creates a really good bond to your foam bonds to the latex skin.
What's up with guys in bandsaws? Like 5 guys I know have hurt themselves on them. Me, not yet. Not
Me, table saw, not a bandsaw. Bandsaws are for sissies.
Scott says, Shannon, have you set up an affiliate? Scott, Harbor Freight does not have an affiliate. Home Depot said no thanks.
Home Depot said no thank you to us.
Home Depot does not want us, and Amazon is open to it, but in my opinion...
We haven't set up on Amazon yet,
because
no.
There's not,
she did start.
There's not a lot as much as Amazon as Harbor Freight or Home Depot. But yes, Amazon is set up. Hello from Scotland. Hello from Maine.
I think the ball is now in my court in order to products on Amazon and make the wife do it.
But we tried for 3. 2 said no thanks. We do not want our love.
The first step in molding is to make sure you're happy with your sculpture. That's what I'm doing right now. Previously on As the World Turns, I actually already painted around the edge with Vaseline, so the mold will not stick to the table. And I also sprayed it down with Pledge a couple times. I don't think that this will take a long time to mold, because I'm going to do a pretty simple flat mold.
What did you sculpt there?
It's a foot. If you can back up 5 minutes, I talked all about it and showed things. It's going to be a foot when it grows up. Right now, it are not a foot. Okay, I'm just making sure you guys can see most of the room. I got to go around a little bit and get crap together to mold stuff.
I just use spray paint as a release.
You can, and I've done that before. Pledge is better. Spray paint is a barrier. Pledge is a release. Now in Sweden, I don't know if Pledge has the exact same formula as it does in the States. Sometimes they mix it up.
Dogs are very comfortable in the workshop.
They're pretty much comfortable everywhere.
Yeah, they're pretty happy dogs.
Comfortable is what they do. They're good at comfortable.
What is the largest monster prop you have ever created for a hunt?
Oh, Godzilla. I made a, not life size, but I built onto a golf cart Godzilla from like the chest up. And the whole gag was that they were walking across a bridge and Godzilla was walking towards them in chest deep water. So we fogged the ground in there and Godzilla drove at them, his eyes lit up, and the roar was on an audio cassette player because this was in 1993 or 4. Have me some Wawa.
What is your favorite project you have ever worked on?
My favorite that I ever worked on, like project-specific prop, project, large undertaking. Which do you mean?
What was that?
I was asking for clarification. Like, I will say that I did really, really enjoy working at Universal Studios for Halloween. I really liked that because I was just an actor. Wear my own costume because it was better than the werewolf costume that they had provided. And there was something crazy going on all over. It's very cool to be doing your thing and working, and then you're hitting people, but it's just cool to be in the middle of all that. Universal has such a great atmosphere in general, and at Halloween time that is no different. It is really remarkable how good their atmosphere is.
Will pledge work well with monster clay?
Yes, it's the best for monster clay.
How long do you let the latex dwell for a half mask?
Well, it depends on your humidity and your climate. Here in Texas, I go about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending.
Got 60 people watching. We got a thumbs down.
I got a thumbs down.
Someone give us a thumbs down. Frog, why are you mad? A thumbs down. Well, sorry.
Like just now we got a thumbs down?
No, I just now looked. It's there.
Oh. If someone who likes us could give us a thumbs up to balance out that thumbs down, I'd appreciate it. But just one of you. I'm not asking for like handouts.
We got puppies.
Maybe they showed up because they saw the name of the video, like, and thought it was about something else.
Okay. The Wolfman and the Stovepipe would make an awesome Mr. Hyde. I agree. I love that. I know you just put it on there for fun, but I'm
Yeah,
serious.
I was just getting the hat out of the way.
I know, but it looks so good. I love it. I really do. And I know that's not where he belongs. Where he belongs, I just love it.
Why?
It's so good.
Continue a story while I grab my drill
Oh, okay.
for mixing this up.
So, all right. So Alan is bleeding. That's what left him. And a story. To know Alan is to know that even though his last name is the ingredient in beer, not drink worth anything. I love a cocktail. I love wine, but Alan doesn't really drink. He'd rather have a milkshake. So the reason why I say this is because the same thing applies to morphine. So I get to the back where they have him, and he's in incredible pain. His hand is splayed open like a hot dog, and they give him morphine, and then something amazing happens, which I'll continue on in the next story. You were high.
You can keep going. You can keep talking, love.
Okay. Well, I'm going to find a cutoff point, but I will just say that they gave him the morphine, which immediately started helping him to be in less pain. But what I had never seen before was Alan on morphine, which while he was ready to kill people when he was in pain, as soon as the morphine hit, he was the most agreeable, congenial, gentle, lovey-dovey guy
I'm a very nice man.
you have ever met. He was a Care Bear, and he was just the higher he got, the kinder and more giving he became. And he was without doubt the nicest patient I've ever seen. Now he's very high, and he started passing out, and when he was unconscious, of course, they were x-raying his hand, and turns out that when they got the x-rays back, he was still unconscious, so they were talking to me. but there were slivers of metal all through his hand, so they were picking out the slivers of metal before they could sew him up. But they were so amazed that somehow he had managed to run his hand through a table saw and not cut a ligament or a tendon or anything to that respect that would have compromised how his hand functions. Because my first thought was, he'll never sculpt again, he'll never create again because he's, almost sliced his hand in two. But somehow that blade missed everything important. It chewed up the meat, but it did not cut anything else.
I cut down the center of my middle finger like a hot dog
Like
bun.
a hot dog.
Yeah.
And it was splayed open. So, because this was so amazing, the doctors, now it's about 4 in the morning, the doctors are bringing interns and students in to say, look at this. So they're looking at the x-ray and they're looking at the hand. And I've got all these strangers. And Alan is passed out. He has no idea this is happening. And strangers are coming in going, wow, look how this worked. And they're just amazed because somehow he managed to miss everything. And that was a blessing, but I also wanted them to just sew up my husband so he could go home. Back to you, Alan.
As I was falling into the saw, I slapped the blade with my hand. And it cut my finger pretty much from here down to here, open like a hot dog bun. Good times. Blah, who's got time for all that painty stuff?
I think swept-back ears look best.
Okay.
Let's see. Are you going to form the werewolf boot into the form of a werewolf leg? I can't remember what it's called.
Digitigrade feet. We emulate that, but it's not 100%. Digitigrade means that reverse bending knee. It's very hard to do looks-wise. It can be, some people do it well, but it works best with CG. If you look at Pan's Labyrinth, what they did was his leg is just sticking out on that, but it's all green screen fabric. And then they removed most of his leg with green screen. So when I do it, you put a pad up by the knee, and then you put a big pad behind the heel. And that really changes the shape of the leg. But you do it with padding. You don't do it with, well, I wouldn't do it in the sculpture, because where it happens is all covered by hair anyway. And my goal now is to get enough material on here for me to be able to do fabric. And I will bust out the burlap and put burlap on this as a couple more layers. Because this doesn't have to be really thick, but it has to be strong. I anticipate making a lot of these.
Mask making takes a lot of time and money. You can easily make it back when selling copies of the same mask. But what if your customer wants a unique mask? How do you make them understand the higher price?
You charge them more. You don't have to make them understand. I mean, and I have, if I'm doing a custom piece for someone, and honestly, a custom sculpt for me isn't that bad. A custom half mask is $150 if I keep the mold and can sell copies afterwards. I may not ever do the same paint and hair as I did for you exactly, but I want the right to keep that mold and to do what I want with it. If you want it to be exclusive to you, then it's $400. Because I have no long-term benefit. My only benefit is that one single sale. And most people who want that kind of stuff, they tend to understand. I don't get nickel and dime a lot.
Say hello to Warren. Warren, you shipped today.
Warren, you got monsters in the mail.
And Warren, we shipped your package, and I'm just going to say that after I lovingly and carefully shipped your package,
Packed your package.
Alan decided he wanted to add something.
Yes.
And he opened up your box that I had carefully put together and put something in there. So you're getting a special surprise. So just so you know,
It's not turds.
not turds. Oh man, morphine made me sick. It was awesome until I barked my guts out. God bless the candle.
Ah, good times on the morphine.
Let's see. So what I'm hearing is a ringing endorsement for morphine abuse. Got it. Well, as far as him being in pain, Alan doesn't do pain very.
No, I don't have a hot. I learned how to fight because I had a low pain tolerance.
He does not take pain well.
I'm a. Boy, do I hate getting punched in the face, so I'm gonna hit you first.
But he was incredibly angry at being in pain. So morphine, great, give it to him. Let's see. I imagine that a giant carp in a tux and a top hat who walked into my hospital room to steal my shoes. I actually screamed to the nurses to stop that thieving fish.
Stop that thieving fish!
That's awesome. Finally got me hooked on root beer and rum chata.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
that's sweet.
That's good
I
stuff.
worked at Blockbuster when Pan's Labyrinth came out. I had to tell a lot of parents that it was not a little kids movie. Quite a few parents did not believe it.
Yeah, because they thought Labyrinth was a kids movie.
Oh, it's a beautiful movie. If you could see one other monster in Godzilla vs. King Kong besides those two, who would you want to see?
The Wolfman.
What?
That's who I would want to see. That is always the answer. And like I got the movie written. Okay, here's how it works. All right, Godzilla and King Kong are fighting. Okay, but first there's a whole ransacking the city thing. And while Godzilla's ransacking the city, he just like picks up a train car, rips it open like he's chugging a beer, and then down the hatch with all the people inside. And him and King Kong get into it, and he knocks down or knocks out King Kong, and it's all you like think it's the end, like Godzilla has won, and then you go inside of Godzilla's stomach, and the one guy in there is a werewolf, so he starts changing inside of Godzilla's stomach. So he's being eaten by the stomach acid, and he's standing on top of cars and stuff that are floating in a big pool of acid, and then he climbs his way out and claws his way through Godzilla, which allows enough of a time for King Kong to recover and finish putting the whoop on the old Godzilla stir. Just so you know how that would go down. But they don't let me make movies, so it's probably good. Because the Wolfman would be in all of them. Like if I remade The Notebook, I would add a Wolfman. I don't even know what Notebook is about.
I love Pan's Labyrinth.
But if I made it, it would have a Wolfman in it.
I prefer the classic Wolfman body with a mask from the movie The Howling personally. A mix between man and beast.
That's a very good looking werewolf. Howling is
Mechagodzilla
one of my favorite werewolves.
Mechagodzilla and Mechakong. Do you get the mold or what's the price for that?
For
Larry, what did you mean? Do you get
I think
the
he's
mold?
talking about doing a custom mask.
Oh.
If you want the mold, it's that 400 that I was talking about. Because then, you're asking me to have a child and give it away.
Class the Wolfman, that sounds awesome. Who needs to win Zilla versus Kong?
There's two cuts. There's got to be two cuts and two edits. The same way they did it back in the 70s. And King Kong wins the US version, and Godzilla wins the Japanese version. That is what you do. Neither one dies, but they're not seen, and the winner is seen going back to their island or home or underwater or wherever. Each one is a cultural icon.
I can imagine Wolfie from Rude Bullies being the hero. USA or Japanese ending?
Yeah, that's both. That's what I'm saying. You got to do them both.
I would pay to see that. Eating a little supper instead of dinner and movie, I get dinner and a story. Nice.
Yeah.
Larry said that's a good one, like giving your baby away.
It is, man. Like when like selling blanks, I sell blanks for $30. They don't take that long to make, and they're not that expensive to make. But basically, if you buy a blank, you're taking all the fun away from me. All the hard part is pouring it up in the stone mold and that business. And you're leaving me with the hard work of pouring it up and that without getting the payoff of being able to paint it and hair it and really get to finish it. You're right, Plastic Ninja. King Kong is clearly cooler. Has that popped up for you yet?
I remember the time I asked the wife to order 4x6 vibrators for a project. I needed something to get rid of bubbles from casting in resin. I didn't have a vacuum chamber.
Vibrators will do it.
So Taylor, that's just wrong. Yeah, I hate customers. They steal glory.
Well, not customers. I like customers, but just if they buy blanks, then I don't get to do the fun part. The fun part is the painting and the hairing, where you see all your hard work come to life. Speaking of work coming to life, I am almost at the point, but I'm not going to be all the way covered. I'm going to do one more little batch so that I can finish this guy out. I want to get all this clay covered, and I want to get this a little thicker before I go to fabric.
Trying my luck at making Orco. Not sure whether to use EVA and face or not.
Orko. O-R-K-O from He-Man. Cool.
Favorite monster movie ever? Boris Karloff, Frankenstein.
It's a good one. That's a good one. There's so many cool monsters out there, though.
Godzilla is clearly better. Orko from He-Man? Yes.
Who said Godzilla is clearly better?
Plastic Ninja.
Scott Colehart, ban him. Just take him out. Wife is saying I can't do that.
Can't
so
do that.
Scratch that. But Godzilla's not as cool as King Kong.
This is an opinion. People can have opinions.
It is?
Scott's going, who? No, Scott, disregard. He's having a moment.
Shannon says stand down.
He says, I'll die on the hill.
I don't know, man. King Kong is pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Godzilla's cool, too. I love them both.
My Uklo the Mock shirts came in today from Sundar the Barbarian.
Oh! I love me some hairy bipeds.
Hello from Brazil. We have another from Brazil.
Hello, Brazil!
What King Kong movie is best?
Not even difficult. King Kong, the original.
Better than Peter Jackson?
Yes, for romance alone. The Peter Jackson version is very good. I enjoy it. But King Kong, man.
The one with Fay Ray.
Fay Ray, Willis O'Brien. Woo!
Ghidorah is clearly the one true king, though.
Well, yeah, they call him King Ghidra. And they call him King Ghidra. But they also say Godzilla is king of the monsters. Who are you going to believe? Godzilla just has good PR, you see. That's the thing. He has calm feet in the PR department. Maybe after I make this mold, I'll put on Dan's beard.
I always liked Mothra as a kid. What else says Gamera? This is King Ghidorah can wear 3 crowns. When
Yes.
Since I think not. Plastic ninja. Oh, you guys are funny.
Yeah, but what's Ghidra good at? Flapping his necks around, you know? He's I think King Kong could take Ghidra. I mean, he did fight 3 T-Rexes before, which is like fighting 3 Ghidras, or Ghidra.
Gamera baby, trouble from hell. It's Warren. I love how Gamera flew spinning in a circle, shooting sparks out of his armholes. The
Yeah.
one time it took half of Toho to take down Ghidra. You guys are so geeky.
Well, listen, all right. You're talking about like destroy all monsters, or I get you. I understand. He's cool, but again, he's just overhyped. Because if I recall, Minya helped with that, and that was Baby Godzilla Jr. And if Minya can get some pot shots in on, I don't know, man. You've lost something in my eyes.
I think that Peter Jackson's King Kong is a great love letter to the original movie.
I agree.
Destroy all monsters, of course.
Yes.
Dinner time finally. Good night and peace to all. It's Cobwebs and Candlesticks.
Good night. This is the point where I have to wait at least a minute to start on my plaster. Alexa, count down 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
Gamera is really neat. He is full of turtle meat.
We all live in Canada. Baby Zilla wasn't a factor.
Was too, man. Those smoke rings killed.
The others held him back. Son of Kong, saddest movie ending ever.
Yes, yeah. But frankly, Mighty Joe Young is just a better movie. It's very similar to Son of Kong, the White Kong version, but Mighty Joe Young it's a better film.
Have you seen the movie called Lost World?
Yes.
You should rename Alexa to Jarvis.
I don't think you can rename it. It gives you options, like you can call it computer, I think.
Plus Mecha King Ghidorah.
Alexa, can I change your name?
I can help you change the wake word for this device. Should we do that?
How many wake words are there?
Here's what I found. You can find and update my wake word in the Alexa app. Select the device's icon, select your device, and then select wake word. Did that answer your question?
Yes. Alexa, cancel timer.
What do you think of the haunters who are currently doing quarantine Halloween yard displays?
They're bored. Cut them some slack. You know, I'm not going to do it because this is something that people are dying from this. You know, it's yes, we're home and we're bored, but this is actually, it's about the folks who are dying from COVID-19. And thousands are dying. So I feel like those displays kind of make fun of that situation, but also it's a rough situation to be stuck at home for weeks and months and not be able to work or do anything. So allow them their dalliance in order to save their minds. If it gets people started making things, that's fine.
Just need to take away Peter Jackson's slow-mo, most annoying thing, and it was an hour off the movie. Three-headed cyborg dragon that shoots plasma beams and lightning.
Yeah, overreaching. You're right. I agree. Too much going on there.
3 different devices are now talking ALXA.
It's like Superman. You know, when they made Superman, they just gave him too many powers to keep him interesting. Because there's nothing for him to go up against that's going to be a real permanent threat.
What is in the Allen Monster Think Bank? What type of monster would you make up?
I have lots of monsters that I have made up in one way or another. One of the ones that I thought up that I have yet to implement, but I will, is call it, I think, a heart beast, where it's like Siamese twin headed, but the snout is split. So when it takes a bite, it leaves a heart-shaped wound. So if it takes a big bite out of you, it leaves a big heart-shaped wound. And that's a monster that I want to work into a Valentine's Day show down the road, because Valentine's Day doesn't really have any monsters or creatures associated with it. So I'm kind of working on a mythos for Valentine's Day that would work for all of the shows that open up during Valentine's Day. But I have to run it right, where the Heart Beast has its own website and has its own lore and things. You know, put a few posts on Wikipedia, so if someone's looking for it, they find it more than just a haunted house. And do a web page for freaky stuff on every state, and make sure that you slide the Heart Beast into every state. A real website, so you know, if you're in Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, you put Mothman on there, Goatman, Hookman, all that stuff, Lemonheads, all those characters would be on there, all the cryptids, but then you slide in this Heart Beast in order to sell your mythology. I am mixing this up a little bit thicker because this peels off the table just a bit, and I don't want a lot of plaster underneath the table. So this is going on pancake batter thick.
How much for a moving jaw werewolf like the black one behind you and a hair suit? Moving jaw werewolf is $175.
Well, the werewolf costume with the regular Wolfman mask and the hair suit is $400. If you want to upgrade, then that's $50 more, so that'd be $450.
What's the
Upgrade to the moving jaw. What? Yeah, the upgrade is to the moving jaw.
Mechajira is amazing. Stop this blasphemy.
You know what? I just, you know, it's not blasphemy. If you think about it, they went too far. They just went too far when they created him, and Godzilla always beats him, the number one, but they made him too powerful, so yeah. This is just storytelling. It's a Superman, you know. Superman's not a very interesting character because he is so powerful. Like, you know, when he was first created, they're like, "Oh, this guy's really cool. What's his weakness? I mean, how is he writable? Oh, it's this rock, this green rock. Okay, kind of tough." Kind of tough to keep the story going with that. I think Batman is just a better character. And I'm not a DC guy at all. but Batman is a better character. He's got a lot of flaws built in there. I mean, he straight up has some mental illness. Doing what he do is cray-cray.
Kids drive me nuts with superheroes. Have a hard time convincing them Wolfman rules. That's Ezekiel.
Hey, if it helps, Ezekiel, look up Capwolf, because for a period of time, Captain America was a werewolf.
Okay, you and Plastic Ninja are going back and forth arguing, and I'm just gonna let you read it on the. You guys finish this up, and I'll read other things because you guys are. You won't let it go, and you guys are having.
Plastic Ninja, that's true, but I'll remind you, the game is named after Godzilla. No matter what your raid boss is, the game is named after Godzilla. Ghidorah doesn't even have a strong enough following. There's no movie where Ghidorah appears alone.
Easy fix for Superman. Forgot kryptonite. Do something that causes the atmosphere to filter the UV rays in a way that needs Superman a little. Y'all work your geekness out.
Is our geekery offending you?
No, not at all. I'm reading questions, but this is a debate.
There's no debate. It's King Kong.
Go ahead and read.
If it said anything else.
Yes, under Newman Brown.
I just saw I'm in 3rd grade again.
Exactly.
What you mean by that is this channel lets you relive your childhood.
That's great. I'm just not going to read it.
If I were smart, I would have gloves on.
Where are the puppies? The puppies are asleep.
They're asleep behind us. Honey, if you want to grab the cam, all I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm slapping burlap onto here in a way that will reinforce my mold. Not leave air bubbles. I don't want no air bubbles. Air bubbles are worse than scrubs.
Did you have those pre-cut?
Yeah. I tend to always use the same size, so I just have a bunch pre-cut in the drawer.
So, puppies are here. In fact, Cheney is... Hi, Cheney. Cheney has decided that he wants a little space. The bookends are slacked out here. Cheney is up. Back to the mold.
Okay, I don't know if you can get it right now, but Rick Baker put out a book that I got for Christmas. That was Metamorphosis, I think is what it's called. And holy moly, is that an amazing book. I also like art books, so any of the book, like Frank Frazetta's artwork or Basil Gogos' artwork is really good. Tom Savini has a book called Grand Illusions, which is, right up this alley also, same kind of stuff.
I'm a bit behind on the videos. I know Alan painted the creature mask, but what about the rest of the costume?
What's that now? I haven't painted the whole suit yet. I haven't had a need to put it together, and right now I'm working orders that we've gotten. And as soon as those orders dry up, I'm going to finish a few things that are in the works, and then I will put those things out, and hopefully more orders will come. And the whole fish creature is one of the things that's coming down the pipe.
Have you ever used hemp or sisal?
Yep, I have.
Same little Annie.
They're about the same. A little harder to work with the hemp because you got to make it in the bird's nest and all that stuff first. But it works okay. Works fine.
Kirk Hammett has a good book. I think it's called Monster Business.
Yeah.
It is Amazon and Walmart. The Rick Baker book is available on Amazon.
Oh, cool. Good. Yeah, Walmart.com like sells everything on the down low. Stuff that you would not see in the store, they're like, yeah, we got that.
Hello, what are you working on? Sorry, I got here late.
This is actually a mold of a foot. I know it doesn't kind of look like that, but this will be a foot mold, I assure you. Right now, Cheney is in a mode where I like him least. He's bored.
He just went out.
And he's wandering around the shop looking for stuff to tear up or eat.
He loved it.
Looks like I'll be doing another batch here. But this will get me through the toes. Okay, so I'm mixing up another batch. Probably the same size batch. I did get fabric on for all of this. I need fabric up here and around and over all this. But I wanted this to be pretty smooth before I started to put the fabric on it. I'm not cleaning out in between because I don't mind it kicking a little faster. I'm not washing my hands off in the sink. I'm washing my hands off in the while it's filling with water. Go ahead, Plastic Ninja. I'll hear you out. Generation X, we're making a mold. I already did a mask paint job, and now I did a mold. I'm working on a mold. I'm almost done with it. And all right, so I hear you, Plastic Ninja. They can't beat him alone. That's true. But just because someone is unable doesn't mean that they're interesting. I give you Doomsday, who and from DC again. His only job was to kill Superman, and they haven't really done much with him because that's all he was good for. I'm just saying. If they're going to make 3 Godzilla-themed toys, they're going to make Godzilla, they're going to make Mothra, they're going to make Rodan. After that, they would probably do King Ghidorah. 4th string, buddy. He's 4th string.
Hi, Alan. What are we making tonight? What's it a mold of?
This mold is actually of a stilt foot. Get out of that. Cheney. You're killing me, Smalls. No. Go on. Honey, stop your dog.
Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. No, you want it.
Walking around looking for stuff to get into.
He's a baby. Big baby. Go ahead. I don't remember if you said, are you going to be putting the beard and hair on the inbred mask tonight?
Maybe after this mold is done. It's 8 now. I should be done with. It's 8:15 now. I should be done with this mold by 8:45 or so. I'm either going to clean it or I'm going to beard up the inbred. I don't know which one. But I may hold off on that and do the inbred beard tomorrow. Because that'll be a nice single video, one thing, putting a beard and hair on a mask.
You got one more comment there from Plastic Ninja about Rodan.
He is, and Mothra's just pretty, you know. So they include Mothra because he looks so different than the others. Or she, sorry, did I just whatever his gender? I did just wrongly assume Mothra's gender.
Can you wear the masks? Chain Gamer Channel. Which masks do you mean?
Yes, you can wear any mask. I only make masks for wearing. Mine are masks first, sculpture second.
What kind of dogs are those again?
They are Great Pyrenees and Springer Spaniel mix.
How much money goes? How much money to make 3 Ghidorah headpieces out of spite? Oh, Plastic Ninja.
You would pay me for spite work? I would take your money for spite work. Ghidorah's actually, he's got a nice head design. It's almost like Asian. It's a good looking monster. I don't like his body connects. If you look at him, he's kind of he's like a badass penguin. Because that's his body shape, is that penguin down to those 2 stumpy feet. Yeah, but anyway, if you want a 3-headed badass penguin, I'm your man. Let me know. Yeah, he's a good piece. He had arms also. You know who doesn't get enough attention is Gigan. Gigan with the 2 like stabby arms and the like almost a saw blade in his chest. Beautiful monster. Alexa, countdown. 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
All I'm doing now is I'm the plaster, the water soaked into the plaster actually. But
I feel confident the Hops puppies would whoop Gidra.
there's 3 of them.
Especially Boris.
What each one can attack a head.
Holy crap, you're right.
Now what you have to remember is eventually every monster from Toho Studios will befriend a chubby Japanese kid in really tight white shorts. The stories are basically all about. Alexa, stop. Now, for the record, also, I'm going to say very clearly, a 300-foot tall chicken would be terrifying. There's an age-old question. Would you rather fight a horse-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized horses? I would rather fight 100 horse-sized chickens. Chicken-sized horses, because you can just kick them, and their little paws can't do that much. Their bite would be ridiculous, and you could just plow through them. But think about a chicken the size of a horse, because an ostrich isn't even the size of a horse, and ostriches scare the crap out of people, and emus are velociraptors. I say that because I used to work with emus, and they growl, and they're terrifying, and they're jerks.
I said that thing about the Jitterer mask as a joke. Oh, Alan, you're just going to have to read through all this.
One of the things I want to make down the road is a Mechagodzilla costume. I just want to.
Just take a second and read that. Just read your comments. No, you're speaking.
It's chicken. It's definitely chicken, not ducks. No, a cassowary. Danger, danger, danger. Yeah, but little tiny dinosaurs are not the same as little tiny horses. First of all, they're herbivores by nature.
You should change your ALXA to a male voice and make the wake-up name Igor.
I don't know if you can change it to a male voice.
The guy on Jurassic Park thought that about the tiny dinosaurs on Jurassic Park until they all ganged up on him.
Yeah. Okay. You have a new fear now. That's cool. So, we do talk 80s cartoons around here every now and then. There was an 80s cartoon called Transor Z. Transor Z was kind of a Robotech ripoff. And Transor Z had a female robot that was on the show every now and then who fired her rockets off like boobs. Not even kidding. Children's show.
Kids show.
Kids show.
No way.
Yes. Yes way, Ted. Yes way.
Transor Z. Loved it.
Do you remember the female robot who would shoot her boobs off like rockets?
Warren, to the interwebs.
I'm telling you, it happened.
You could get away with way more in the 80s.
You could.
We'll put Scott Cohart, just put it there.
Ha ha! Scott, you're the man. Scott, can you message me that on Facebook? When I get to check my Facebook messages in 2 or 3 days, I will do that.
I remember the projectile dudes.
Yeah. Cray cray.
Rip off of Mrs. Zinger Z. I watched the Immortal Masks course on Stan Winston. I
Okay.
now know and totally understand why they're so darn expensive. I still want one now.
They're ridiculously expensive. Even the epoxy they make their molds out of is expensive. But it's worth it because, you know, they're going to get good pulls out of those for literally years.
Like a fembot.
Yes. I will admit to this crowd here, I've actually never seen, were fembots in Austin Powers?
I think the fembot was Stepford Wives, wasn't it? What's the mold of?
This is actually a foot. It doesn't look like a foot, but I swear to you it's a foot. This is an origami monster foot. It's going to fold up and become a foot.
What a fan debate about a topic no one else cares about. Thank you, Helen. You guys could have gone for hours.
Hey,
You guys could have gone for hours, and neither one of you are backing down.
yeah, you know what? If you want to be attacked by a three-headed were-penguin, King Ghidorah's the way to go. Gold lizard!
I don't know, Alan. I'm not sure that is a foot.
It's a foot. I promise you it's a foot. Have I ever led you wrong before? Yeah, it doesn't look like a foot, but I promise it's a foot. There's a foot in here. Something is a foot. God, that said that.
I had a yellow-bearded dragon named Ghidorah for a while.
Did it disappoint you? And just flop around? Like its namesake?
Okay, dude.
It's like you take the wings of a vulture and you put them on a penguin. And then you take about...
Just read it. While you're expounding, just read.
So I'm not going to make you change your mind, but that's fine. But I think in a fight between King Ghidorah and the Wolfman would win.
Scott Colhart says, I have to go do some real work.
That's terrible.
He's right. Missing airbrush videos.
What are you trying to say?
I'll tell you what they're trying to say.
What are they saying?
They're ready to talk about something else. Chad Smith, Michael, it was really interesting. Go Wolfman. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Telling you, man. And the main reason for that is King Ghidorah is so big, the Wolfman would just escape his notice. Again, he would eat him by accident. Or, you know, Wolfman could parachute in. Okay, so I'm making sure every place on this has burlap.
Generation X says it's YouTube Wednesday. But it's Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday right now. It's only Tuesday. When does YouTube Wednesday happen? Wednesday. Unlike Tater, who called it YouTube whenever, because I was in a habit for a while there of posting videos whenever I could.
Says he's bringing them back.
Who said that?
horror beauty.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
Ezekiel says it's Wednesday here.
It's Wednesday somewhere, I guess.
With this content, why in the world would someone give you a thumbs down? This is priceless content. Have you ever seen the movie about a classic monsters fighting each other? I thought it was kind of cool. No, Alan said, I have ever led you astray, and I said missing airbrush videos. Michael is not going to let that go.
All right. So maybe I led you astray on that one. I didn't lead you astray. I just led you partway there. I didn't finish leading you. Fine. I'll see what I can do about some missing airbrush videos. Tell you what, you'll get your missing airbrush videos if Plastic Ninja says
Oh my God.
King Kong is cooler than King Ghidorah.
Big Dog is off to bed. Thanks for the pointers. We'll apply. Yes, the horns. I was going to sharpen them. Hey, little girl.
Yeah.
Kitty, kitty. Jenkins is here.
Big Dog sent me pictures of his sculpture so that I could kind of talk him through a couple things. He was really on the right track and doing well.
Plastic Ninja. Just cross your fingers and say it. He said, wow, he's going to be waiting a long time then.
Yeah, I can see your fascination with Ghidorah. It is a cool monster.
Big Dog says, thanks to Monster Camp. Good night, Big Dog.
You don't have to come to Monster Camp, but I do think it makes it easier to get started on your own. When I got started, there just wasn't a lot of info out there.
Don't relent now, Alan. Ezekiel is in the future. Tomorrow is my 37th year anniversary. We will have a Godzilla marathon.
Awesome! That's so great. There's some really cool Godzilla box sets out there.
Oh, hello. One day, my daughter is going to come to Monster Camp.
Who said that?
Rodney Pope.
Awesome. Come on. I'm ready. Well, not right now, because it's illegal. But eventually. Something very cool about plaster, because you have this short window where it is liquid and it kind of listens to what you ask it to do. And then it just stops listening.
The funny thing is, I've used airbrushes for years. I just don't ever want Alan to live that down.
Oh, you and Linda.
Linda Forbes?
Linda Forbes, yeah. Every time it's like, and Edie Lunter.
Well, it was a series.
Well, yeah.
You didn't finish
Series?
the series.
It's like Bill Cosby's movie, Leonard Part 6.
Is Monster Camp going to be canceled this year?
Like many things, postponed, pushed back. For the people who had already purchased, can I say this?
For Monster Camp 5.
For Monster Camp 5, we actually, which was scheduled to be
April 17th, 18th, and 19th.
April 17th, 18th, and 19th, it's not legal for us to hold them. Therefore, we opened up dates in August and September. So as we get, I probably shouldn't say this, but as we get closer to those dates, we'll open those up as regular monster camps once we figure out where the people who are rearranging land.
But the answer is no, it's not canceled.
No.
Currently, it's postponed. It's moved forward.
Like everything in our lives right now,
We're waiting.
it's different. We're in a holding pattern, but we're going to make it work. That is,
If you want to come, we're going to make it happen.
yeah.
Alan, would you give me a couple of pointers on making a clay sculpt smooth? I can never get it as smooth as professional sculpts. I don't know what I'm doing different.
What kind of clay is it? Because different clays require different measures.
Rodney says if you add one, leave one in.
Well, it'll be a date in August or September.
What it is, Rodney, is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, you, honey.
Well, Rodney, what it is that we have 2 dates, one weekend in August and one weekend in September, that we are currently moving the Monster Camp 5 class to. Those, some are simply going to wait for another time. Some are moving to whichever one they can make, August or September. And we have hopes that this is resolved by then and that they can attend that way. So it's basically a makeup class. And what we're gonna, and we also have Monster Camp 6 in May. Nothing has changed there yet because we're waiting to see, like everybody else, how this will go. However, while we don't know how this is going to work exactly yet, we have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C with these other dates. What I do know is that once this all settles down and we are able to hold them again, we will have more monster camps in the future. That is not something that we plan to stop doing. So if you don't make that, if you don't make this one, please hold tight. We're going to have more, and we'll get you in.
And originally we weren't going to have those dates in August or September.
No.
But what happened was,
What happened?
because there was no Trans World, we didn't get the bookings for haunt training like we normally do all through August and September. We were kind of saving those weekends for that. But now that what will just happen is we'll say, you know what, we don't have time to do that kind of training because we have Monster Camp.
So we're going to use 2 dates to try and make up for April, which we have had to postpone. And we hope this will work. We've moved it far enough into the late summer that we hope this works. And just like everything else, we're just waiting to see. Yes, Monster Camp 6 is full. It is sold out. Have you had to make adjustments to your schedule for teaching at haunts?
Again, this happened before a lot of the bookings came. So
We're not taking any more.
no, but we're not going to take any more because we need that time now for Monster Camp.
We are trying desperately to make Monster Camp happen. Let's see. And it's an oil-based clay from Hobby Lobby, Plastina brand.
Okay, then you want to use like mineral spirits on it, but are you raking it with rake tools? Because one of the secrets to smoothness is actually to rake it out first, and that gets all those bumps off of it, and you rake out the high points and the low points, and the high points get raked off and they end up falling into the low points, and then you smooth it out with some kind of a naphtha's a little strong, but maybe 99% alcohol. I mean, each clay has its own solvent that works best with it. If I recall, Plastina is mineral spirits. And that's kind of the secret to smoothing it. And then it's buffing it and buffing it and buffing it. And yeah, you can get it robot smooth, but it takes work. It takes work and progressively different tools.
Have you utilized any of the Monster Camp for footage on your sculpting DVD?
No, I haven't at this point. But that might happen in the future.
That would be very, very easy to do.
Me and Shannon talked about it before, but man, when Monster Camp is happening, there's so much going on here. I'm a very busy man. I think I want to do one more batch just to see how high this is, and these are pretty low. I'm going to do another batch just to make some lumps to put on this in order to raise this up.
Petroleum jelly works well for smoothing oil clay, just a little.
Yeah, for that final polish.
Needless to say, with Monster Camp and cool monster suits, y'all will be getting lots of my money. That's Rodney Pope. Rodney, we hope you can join us for Monster Camp. Everything's kind of on hold, but we're gonna make it happen. It's very special. It's a very special thing. Lighter fluid will work with plastina, but be careful, it's very aggressive. Lighter fluid.
Hey, White.
Yeah.
Chat a bit.
Oh, let's see. Quick story. We're continuing. Okay, so Alan is high as a kite in the ER. He is unconscious. People are coming in, and they all are bringing the students and the interns in to look at his flayed hand to see how he somehow managed to miss all the important things. So Alan is in and out of consciousness. When he comes to, and he sees the doctor there sewing up his hand, he immediately looks around the room and then looks at the doctor and says, "This is the nicest hospital I have ever been." And the doctor said, "Well, thank you." And he said, "No, seriously, I've been in a lot of hospitals, and this is just an absolutely beautiful hospital. This room is beautiful." And he begins to enthusiastically expound on how beautiful his very benign hospital.
It had a chair rail. It had nice wallpaper. There was a floral pattern. It was a nice room.
He was high as a kite. And I'm going to wrap this up by saying when we finally were released, of course they put him in a wheelchair. They won't let him walk. His hand is all bandaged up. We are being wheeled out to where the car is. And as we leave, Alan, who is super happy, is inviting everyone, nurses, staff, orderlies, interns, surgeons, janitorial staff, everyone, come to his house. My wife will fix dinner for you. You guys all come to my house. I would love to have you at my house. And they all thought he was the sweetest,
Bunch of jerks.
most loving patient. They said he is just the nicest person. Okay.
Had them fooled.
Had them fooled. But he was high as a kite. He did get all of his strength back in his hand. But to wrap this up, it was New Year's Eve. There had been no kiss at midnight, no toast. So I took 2 glasses. I filled one with vodka for me because I had had it, and some Sprite for him. And I put it in his hand. He was unconscious. I clicked it. He took a sip, passed out. I slammed the vodka. That was New Year's Eve.
Hooray!
That's how we started the new year. Adventure, adventure. And that is one of your many stories in a series of how Alan almost died. Okay.
Table saw.
Table saw was much fun. Are you going to attach foam claws to the casting you pull from this?
I sculpted claws on it. It has claws.
Warren says, best story ever. Oh, Warren, there are so many. So many stories. People joke about it, but the truth is, I have Alan insured twice. Twice. That is not even a joke.
Alexa, count down 1 minute. 1 minute.
So like the
2
day,
minutes, starting now.
the Monday after you and I were married, what did I do?
You drove me to the insurance office. You wouldn't let me drive. You drove me so that I could get more insurance. Which named you as the beneficiary.
You had to have insurance. I'm investing in my investment. Daredevil husband, my wife has one too. If that's one story, I can't wait to read your biography to hear all the tales. Good God. You can't ever write a book. This would be a biography I would read twice. Look at him. Look at him.
So if you guys want to see my shop help here, we have Cheney, who is quite passed out. Then over here, shameless as usual, there is Boris and Bella, who are belly up to the world and dead asleep. Which means later, they're going to be cray-cray.
Cray, cray.
Right now, their batteries are charging.
I've only ever drilled a screw through my thumb during haunt construction. Pales in comparison. Big time help there. We also had Jenkins the kitten was in here earlier, but where she went.
Okay. Alexa, stop the timer.
She is. Chicks.
Okay.
Kitty, kitty. I never get hurt building things. I just get crippled at concerts. Plastic ninja.
You go to the wrong concerts, my friend.
I
I don't know if anybody's ever died at a Kenny G concert. Hey, wife, tell them cool stuff. Gotta grab a thing out of the other room.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness.
Talk about Monster Camp.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, as we said about Monster Camp, as we got closer and closer, tomorrow's the first day of April. That leaves us 2 weeks till Monster Camp 5, which has been sold out since January. And so we have moved that to 2 separate dates to try to accommodate the students. As I said, there are some students who just are going to choose to not do it this time around, and that is fine.
Just maybe their life changed, you know?
And that is cool, man. Life happens. But we're gonna make it happen if we are able to do it, and I think we will. I think later on in the year this is going to be better. It's going to be a different year all around, and we're just going to roll with it. And shoot, if we have a monster camp for 2 people, we'd make it happen.
Yeah.
It'd just be a smaller monster camp, and we keep the classes small anyway. One way or another, we're gonna make it happen. It's really special, and I hate that 5 had to be postponed, but it's not canceled. We'll figure out a way to make it happen. Ezekiel says you haven't lived till you've set yourself on fire.
Well, I got a story for that. I was set on fire once by a customer at a haunted house. I was a beautiful burlap scarecrow, highly flammable. Ivan was there.
Again, insured.
Insured. This is more than enough for what I want, I think.
I think she wants to go in the other room.
Would you give it a little push for her? I'm currently chemically committed.
Jeez. Come here, little girl.
So this mold is kind of big and flat and weird. So I'm just putting this piece of wood on here to kind of brace it.
What is your audiobook called?
I don't have an audiobook.
I rolled my ankle 90 degrees once, tore my rotator cuff another time with Plastic Ninja. Ezekiel Bradshaw says, my buddy went into a mosh one time, fully clothed, came out in underpants and half of a sock,
That's awesome.
and his head of dreadlocks was missing.
Wow. Wow. What band was that? 'Cause I'm sure on the other side of the mosh pit, somebody came out with a full head of dreadlocks.
Can we get Alan in a smoke? Can we get Alan in a smoker's jacket next to a fire, smoking a cigar, drinking whiskey, telling stories at Christmas time? That is an awesome idea. We should make that happen.
What kind of stories? Just like haunted house stories? Alan stories?
Oh my goodness, what a visual. That's hilarious. It'd be like Augustus Tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you another crazy concert with lots of injuries. Yanni. Things got so crazy.
I bet they did. I bet they did.
She wants injury and haunt stories.
Understood. I have some good stories from Gatorland in my alligator wrestling days.
I'd pay to see that.
Okay, so what I'm doing, I attach that board, because that board is going to add some stiffness to that part of the mold.
I'd pay to see worse entertainment. I've paid to see worse entertainment. Ezekiel.
There's a group on Facebook right now. It's I think it's called Haunted House History, and it was started by a friend of mine named Tattoo, and I don't even know if he goes by Tattoo anymore, but he it's such a wonderful. It's very reminiscent of haunted house stuff from the '90s, when I was kind of coming up and enjoying and learning, and a lot of people that I thought at that time were, well, they were and still are leaders in the industry. I had no idea they started haunting like 2 years before I did. All right, let me get a secret weapon. Secret weapon, red solo cups. Fill it up, flip it over.
Stacy is drawing cartoons of our dogs. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Can you see this?
I saw it.
You did?
Yeah.
When'd you see it?
She sent it to me moments before I was walking over there. I clicked the thing and brought up the message. Now I don't care if what's in here is It's chunky. I'm not worried about air bubbles.
Speaking of alligator wrestling, have you seen Tiger King?
No, I have, in a world with as much drama as we have right now, why do you want to inject more into your lives by watching Tiger King? Holy moly. I mean, just from from everything I hear, it's like, I don't want that in my life.
That's a funky looking cake.
Yes, terrible cake.
Are you making legs?
Yes, I am. And that's going to keep stress off of this area with the toes.
I'm with you, Alan. Just like keeping COVID-19 out of my house, I don't want to let that crazy in.
Yeah, I mean, that opens things up. And, you know, I don't know what happens. I haven't seen the show. But my assumption is it's not great behavior. I have enough drama in my own little circle right now. I don't need to add any from the TV. And frankly, I'm not watching TV right now. I'm in the shop all the time, or I'm on the computer working on things. Because right now, everybody is home. And with everybody being home, they're all working on projects. I am getting September level questions from folks who are making masks and costumes and things in at their house. September level, meaning lots of them. 50 to 100 messages a day asking, you know, where can I get this material? You know, and that's cool. I love doing it, but it's a lot. So I'm having I keep up with that. I try to keep up with that.
Ezekiel says, my kids are driving me crazy enough. Warren says, prayers to you, Ezekiel. That show is a train wreck. Yeah, no.
I have no doubt that it is.
I think it's probably hitting a perfect time when people are home and they have nothing to do. But we have too much to do.
Yeah.
We have too much to do.
All right. I'm going to go rinse my hand off. I'm calling this mold done. It's 8:58. I will probably not mold that. I will probably not put hair on tonight. What I want to do, though, is I want to flip this mold over and peel that foot out. Okay. Hands are clean.
$45 messages a day with virus jokes. It's Ezekiel.
Oh yeah, I don't even count those. I barely look at them. Had to ask a couple people, hey, please just stop forwarding me stuff. But you know, there are people who send me cool Wolfman stuff. That's awesome. I love that. But virus jokes and general memes. I'm not a casual memer. I'm not a casual talker. You know, when I'm saying something, there's a reason I'm saying it. It's probably some kind of business.
Let's just put it this way, the people they show that own big cats are crazy. I think if you own a tiger, you're crazy by default.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of animal, guys. Now, if I let all this plaster fall on the floor,
We got another thumbs down.
what do you do? Okay,
Okay.
maybe I'm not for them. What's probably happening is that people who are not haunted house people or mold make or monster people are just YouTube is alive right now, and they're like, this isn't what I'm into, so they dump down it. So YouTube understands the algorithm. That's fine.
That is all fine. We don't worry. Please tell me that T-shirt isn't ruined. It looks awesome. Your apron game is off.
I have a lot of this T-shirt. I have like 14 shirts pretty much exactly like this. And I get a few more every year just to make sure. And this will mostly come out. This is surface plaster. That's not too bad.
Have you heard from Rob recently? How is he holding up?
Rob is fine. I actually saw him the other day.
Saw him yesterday.
I let him come over and work in the other room. I was here. Our regular income is not happening right now because dark hour is on a shutdown, like many places. So Rob is one of a few people who I can let go in the shop and say, hey, do this thing, and he'll do the thing. Just as well as if I was there.
You need blood service.
Hey! Cutting up plaster chunks so my dog doesn't eat them. My dog is special.
Shannon, are you surviving okay without some glossy red wines? Oh, thank you, Ezekiel. The reds you brought me were absolutely delicious, but fear not, I keep the house stocked. We live so far out in the sticks, away from any conveniences, that I actually, when all this started, I kind of had the house in good shape as far as having
Provisions.
enough provisions that for two people. And so while your red wine is divine, I promise you I had red wine to keep me going. So I'm making it okay. But yes, it is absolutely delicious. I don't know if I know the red wine was delicious, but also it was your timing. Because after a show floor day, when you are finished, you go back to the room and you take your shoes off. You go, oh my God! And suddenly it's quiet. You know how the trans world floor is so loud. That glass of wine is like heaven. So not as good as yours, but it's making it. Hi, Edie. I miss living out in the sticks. 33 years now. I'm stuck in town. It's heaven, man. We're never leaving. I'm ashamed I wasn't better stocked on stuff. Oh man, I keep us stocked. Like I said, it's only two people who live here, but I'm also always cooking for the shop crew, so we got stuff. Like Alan said, they probably saw the title of the video, was thinking a 13-year-old was expecting something else.
Are we all? Such is life.
Just wondering what the dimensions of the shop.
Probably 30 by 25 in this room, and maybe 35 by 25 in the other room.
Will you have time that you can work with an independent filmmaker on a custom headpiece, body piece, and costuming for a short film with this virus stuff? What's up?
It's possible. What needs do you have? Because I may not be your man. But I can point you towards people who are good at all those things. Hold the power of pledge.
Hey, I can't keep watching. I'm having to work, then watch, work, then watch. Just play it back. It's cool, Jeff.
I gotta work. That's what I'm doing right now. Yes, because I use pledge as a standoff between the clay and the plaster, and it's just, look at how it just peels out, nice and clean. The mold's not even really dirty from the clay. Pledge is the best release I've ever used.
It's a little more than I can explain on YouTube comments. Can you tell me the best place to contact you about it? And I will send you the details. I got it.
My wife is on it.
How did you come across Pledge?
I just tried different stuff. I just kept trying things until I found something I liked.
Lemony Fresh and disinfected. That's cool. What are you making here?
This is actually a stilt foot. This goes on the bottom of a stilt, and it's actually going to wrap around the stilt and be a werewolf foot.
I'll have to try Pledge on my next one.
It works amazing.
Thanks for getting back to me on the werewolf stilt costume today. I'm looking forward to it.
This is the feet that's going to be on that sucker.
Mine?
Yes, this mold is for many. This mold is for all the werewolf stilt feet.
Body Geeks, which one are you? We sent out several things today.
I do think it's cool that people can order something and then watch me make what they order. I think that's a cool part of the process.
Brian, is that you? Has to be Brian. Krampus Mask Combo, it's Brian. Okay.
So I have the fursuits, and Brian quickly saw where I was headed with the fursuit mask combo, because you can buy one fursuit and then get different masks to go with it and have different costumes. Because you can make it be a Krampus for Christmas time. You can be a cool werewolf or gorilla if you go black. It all depends. Should spin this sucker around just so I can reach those toes better.
Just that way.
Maybe 30 pounds. Not that much, really. But those feet, those table legs, they keep it pretty level, and they allow it to keep the pressure off. I didn't have to build it all the way up to make it even. Hey, wife, could you hand me a popsicle stick from over there? Behind that black grouch head. Perfect. Thanks. So this mold is going to be cleaned tonight. I'll pour it up tomorrow, and then I'll be able to see what that foot looks like. Because you really can't see it in this form. But yeah, this mold won't need power washing. It'll clean up pretty.
Thank you for all the videos. I've learned a lot from you, and even with the one-on-one messages you've answered for me. You're a great artist and an awesome teacher.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad. One of my big fears is that someone's going to hop on and say, listen, I wrote you and you never answered me. Because, I mean, I do lose track of messages sometimes. And for a while there, Facebook was just kind of weird in how you got messages. You know, I went a long time without knowing I can look in the other messages, but now the other ones show up for me because I changed my settings. There we go.
What do you think about a three-headed Krampus as a concept? It's plastic nature.
Well, I would not go with a three-headed Krampus as a concept. What I would go with is a three-headed troll. Because if you're talking trolls and you're talking three heads, then you're talking Norwegian trolls. If you're talking Norwegian trolls, you're talking cold weather, and you might as well be talking Gryla and the Yule Lads. So if you're talking about all those things, you're already at Christmas time, and there's no need to make a Krampus have three heads when you can go with a three-headed Norwegian troll, which I think would be pretty awesome. And one of the things that I have designed but never built is a rig to wear on your head, so you move your head, other heads around you move in a opposite fashion, basically. So, you know, it's a ring that sits on your shoulders and other heads are attached to it. If I turn my head, this head might turn this way. And it's all in the rods and cables and how you set it up, where you can move and your head moves around, or the other heads move around. Because I want to do a multi-headed giant at some point on stilts.
I'm taking the plunge. I have a booth at THC. Hope they don't cancel it.
I wish you the best success.
We also hope that.
Swing by the Stilt Beast Studios booth and say hey to everybody.
One of my actors bought your Plague Doctor mask. He and another guy are going to play twin Plague Doctors, but the other guy drug his feet and missed out. Sold out when he finally went to get one. Yeah, they went so fast, Chad.
And I may get more of those to sell. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I think they were gone in about 6-7 hours. I would love that head rig.
Yeah, I mean, I love rigs that you wear. You know, that kind of stuff fascinates me. And hardcore puppetry. You're going to see more puppetry from Stilt Beast. I haven't really released the Hunchback yet. If you watch my videos a lot, you've seen me work on it, or at least I've shown it off some. But I haven't even released it yet to people. And I think the Hunchback is going to do well when I finally release it. So right now I'm getting some orders, and then when this round of orders dries up from the things I've released, then I'll release more.
Ever thought about making your own horror-themed fishing lures?
Have I thought about it? Yes. However, I don't want fishing to become work, because right now it's the only hobby that I have. I have not monetized fishing in any way. and I don't want to. I don't want to issue. I don't want to enter fishing tournaments. I don't want to do anything that's going to make fishing be work. Or just be fishing. It's more molding. It's more sculpting. I want it. I need it to be different. Have I thought about it? Yeah.
What is that mold? A back piece?
This is actually a foot. It's an origami foot because it's for a stilt, and these wrap around and meet in the back, and that's why all the toes are up front. This little divot here is that front pad separation. These are the ankle bones when it wraps around. I got the idea of doing things this way from looking at skins for like sim characters to make them look a different way. When you buy them or look at them, and I just look at the images. I've never actually played Sims. They're folded like this, or at least one of the picture options is then all unfolded and flat. So it's just really neat. It was a neat concept to me, and I kind of wondered what can I do, and this type of flat molded, flat packed monsters is one of the things that came out of it.
Best regards from Brazil.
Hooray! To the bem!
I wish more of the haunt conventions were nearer to Georgia.
You travel. Just go. Go to them. They don't have to all come to you. You can go to them.
I have never asked a question that you didn't answer. If you don't answer, you will tell where I can look for the answer, or you investigate yourself. Thank you for everything you do for us.
Oh, thank the Lord someone feels that way. You can't do this and not feel like you're letting people down every now and then. And do this just means answer questions, all the answers that I give, it's because I screwed that up once. And now I know. And I might not know the only way, but I know a way. It may not be the best way, but I don't want you to waste time. I had to climb a lot of fences. And there are some things, and I'm very grateful, where I'm able to stand on someone else's shoulders and look over that fence. So if people can stand on my shoulders and figure stuff out, that's awesome.
Molds have 2D textures like that.
Yeah. Well, this is a 2D mold, but I mean, kind of. But it's going to be very 3D when you wrap it around a piece of EVA foam.
I like the conventions further away. It's another adventure in food and cool people.
Yeah.
Ezekiel, they're all far away. Glad you like it.
You start one in Australia, let me know.
Boy.
So what I'm doing now is I'm picking clay out of the mold. These are mostly the toenails of it that, there's plaster all around it, and I just have to dig it out.
They're sold at Meat and Joe Werewolf.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Did somebody who's watching here just buy a moving jaw werewolf?
No, I don't think so.
Because there's 65 folks watching.
It's possible. She's been with us before. Okay. Have you ever considered making a walking tree costume?
I have made so many tree costumes, it's not even funny. So, here's some background for you. I had to stalk my wife in order to let her know that she was supposed to marry me. Because I knew, but she was not aware. And if you just tell them, it freaks them smooth out. So I had to stalk her a bit. And one of the ways that I decided to stalk her, I had moved to Texas to work for a haunted house. And she, at the time, was working at a Renaissance festival. So I convinced the Renaissance festival that they needed me to be a walking stilt tree man. So that is one of the things that I did. And I actually have a chest piece from one of my costumes right here that I can show you. And again, a flat mold. So it comes around the sides and you'll lace it together. And it looks like different bits of tree.
And you were in a tree costume. That's
Yes. And I sculpted this the year before Guardians of the Galaxy came out. And
oh, you don't mean the movie.
what's that?
You don't mean the movie.
Yeah. And but ever since then, any tree thing is Groot. Doesn't matter what you do, it's Groot. So it's a tough fight right now.
I have food allergies, so food adventures are not fun for me. No conventions here. You should just come for a fish and meet the wildlife. That's Ezekiel.
That sounds wonderful too.
Yeah, we do it, buddy. I stopped the live stream to make dinner, and I wanted to see the mold making process. So is it possible to go to your YouTube page and watch it another day?
This will be live on my YouTube page right after. Pretty much it takes about 4 hours to process, but I always hit the button to put it on. And then I should always go back and change the name to whatever happens in the video and make it better and searchable and all that. I don't always do that, but I try to. Oh, it's exciting when you pull a whole nail out of the mold. Exciting. You guys have no idea. But now that little section is just about clean.
That's homicidal mold.
The mold is the head that went with that, which fell off of the table like 4 or 5 times. People were watching live and they would watch the mold just fall off the table in the background. Oh, exciting. They'd watch the mold fall off in the background. And one person commented, I just screamed out loud when that fell over.
We all did. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, because they watch me spend an hour and a half or 2 hours making this mold. And then they watch it fall off the table behind me. It survived, and the mold is fine to this day. And I love tree creatures. I love tree monsters. I've made several over the years. I love them. Even the one that I played at Scarborough Fair, I did 4 or 5 different versions of that with different heads and different bodies.
I just made some teeth out of acrylic nails. What can I use to glue them on for a latex mask?
Super glue. What I would do though is I'd actually put pinholes in your latex mask and then let the super glue go through that, because that's going to make like a little plastic rivet to hold them on. I like to have a mechanical bond as well as a glue, as a chemical bond, which is the glue. So by putting little holes in the mask, you're allowing the glue to become a rivet. And that is a physical mechanical bond, which will almost always be stronger than a chemical bond.
Give me Wizard of Oz scary tree costume over Groot. I get the pulling clay out of a mold all too well.
Oh, so fun.
Outdoor haunt. Would you build semi-permanent structures like a castle or shed and treated wood to last, or save costs and expect to rebuild and change it up for the customers every 2 to 5 years?
Last. Because and build it so you can take it apart. So that in 2 to 5 years, you can sell a different haunted house and recoup the cost, and they will fund your next set.
I'm thinking of making an Ent-style tree creature.
Cool, do it. I highly recommend it. I've got a fun video on my YouTube channel, which it's called arm extensions, I think, and it's the base arm extensions, but then leaves and tree parts out of them, because I had bush creatures in a haunt. Guys, this mold is clean. I have a few little picky picks to do. But this El Moldo is El Cleano. Now, here's something I don't like. I've got a chip out on this corner, meaning if I fill this all the way up with latex, it'll pour out over here. So I will patch that probably the next time that I'm working on it, and I'll get that cleaned up. Other than that, I'm real happy with this mold. I think it's going to serve me well. Yeah. And this is going to get poured up tomorrow. Here in the toes, there's a little bit of clay residue, but up here, it's almost perfectly clean because of that pledge. And I was happy with the sculpture. It's a real interesting texture, so there we go. Okay, so it's probably time for me to wrap up. I have computer work I have to do this evening. I have a logo to give my opinions on from someone. I don't know if they're watching now or not. And I probably could not match their YouTube name to their email name, because that's different. And then their human name is different. I have to bag up this clay, which is perfectly usable again.
While you're doing that, it isn't easy to build a haunted house. Ever do any tryptophobia type sculpts?
Not overly so. I have done a couple. When tryptophobia first became a thing, I built a mask that had that look to it, but I haven't done any myself. It's just not my aesthetic. I am a decent sculptor, not a great sculptor. I would say I'm on the short bus side of good as far as sculpture goes. But I'm good, you know. If I sculpt a duck, you know it's a duck. But my work is not amazing. But I know what I like, I stick to what I like, and I'm passionate enough about what I like that it comes out okay in the end. Part of what I'm doing is prepping for tomorrow. Tomorrow, surprise, I have a mold to make. Yeah, I gotta work. We've had on the books for months an AC repair at dark hours, so I'll be at work tomorrow, which will be weird because I haven't been in a while. This is the head I'm molding tomorrow. Alexa, add kitchen garbage bags to my shopping list.
Kitchen garbage bags to your shopping list.
Chad, the logo. Really appreciate you giving me feedback. Chad's
Oh, you know what? I'm more than happy to.
thanks, Alan and Shannon. Always an educational and entertaining. Looking forward to seeing the mold tomorrow.
It's just having the time to get to everything. And today I did a couple sculptures that I was sent. I gave feedback on those. It's a different animal, you know. You have to put things there.
I have a funny and sweet fishing related story.
Well, as I'm about to wrap up, I would like to hear that story the next time I am on and you are watching, Ross. 56 people. This is amazing. Sorry, Jesse, if I just put kitchen bags on your shopping list. Good night, everybody. It's a rough time for the world. And if we can get on here and debate monsters and talk about stuff and get each other's minds off of what's actually happening while not contributing to the problem, that's great. So be safe out there, everybody, and I will talk at you guys next time. While you're home, go make stuff.